Hey everyone, welcome to the Purple People Podcast, a proud member of the Sports Authority Network. I'm Kyle West, and alongside me is Adam Carlson.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Once again, I'd like to invite you all to join in the conversations on the Facebook fan page, on our Twitter account. What do we have on tap for today, Kyle?
Well, we have another special show lined up for you guys. I have just spent the past 3 days in Mankato, Minnesota. I have been watching the Vikings training camp.
Very nice.
I have a whole bunch of stories. I think everyone's going to be interested in hearing.
I sure am. That's way better than the way I spent my weekend. I had a rummage sale and got sunburned. No fun.
Well, you made money and got sunburnt, and I spent a lot of money and got sunburnt. So we're on yin and yang on that one, I guess.
I suppose. Well, it's still not even. You got to be at the Vikings training camp and probably got to see some pretty cool stuff. I got to sell stuff and get burnt. Not fun. Not even. I bubble. I'm that white. I go straight from skin to bubbles. Not cute.
Yeah, I've got to take a bath in suntan lotion anytime I've got to go outside. Otherwise, I will just turn into a tomato by the end of the day. Anyway, let's not talk about how we tan.
No.
Let's talk about let's talk about the Vikings here.
That's what people want to hear.
I want to kick things off with Greg Childs.
No.
Well, we've got to get the pink elephant out of the room here. I'm sure everyone knows what happened. He tore both of the patella tendons in his legs, and we were actually right on the side of the end zone when he did that. And it was basically just a goal line fade that he was running. No one even made contact or touched him, and he just went down. And as soon as he hit the ground, you heard him scream. He grabbed a hold of his knee, and he screamed, and everyone, there was a gasp that kind of came over the crowd here. And the athletic trainers, they came over, they ran up to him. They worked with him for quite a bit, and they loaded him up on the cart. And I thought it was kind of... The one thing that kind of bugged me is no one came over. I kind of thought that more players on the team would have came over to see how he was doing. The only person that did it, believe it or not, was Percy Harvin. Percy,
Nice.
well, as soon as they broke, because it was right as they were getting ready to end their Saturday night scrimmage. It was on the second to last play they were running when this happened. And as soon as they broke huddle, Percy was the first person that ran over and went to talk to him, and I thought that was really, really neat. But it is, it was horrible that you could actually, hear him scream and call out for the trainers to come over. It was not a pretty sight.
No, and you got to remember, too, he previously had surgery on one of his knees before suffering this injury. There's a lot of concern that, it's already been confirmed that he's going to be done for this season. He won't play this year. But there is concern that he might not ever play again. I mean, players don't typically come back from injuries like this. The Vikings cut him on Monday, and they're hoping that he'll clear waivers so they can put him on IR and wait the year and see how he's coming along, check out his rehab and all that, because they did invest a 4th-round draft pick in him, so they can't just completely wash their hands of him. But like I said, they're hoping they can get him back and put him on IR, and hopefully he'll be able to make a comeback, but the odds are against him.
Yeah, and I don't imagine there's going to be another team that's going to take a shot with him. I mean, he tore both patella tendons in both of his knees. I mean,
Right.
it's one of those freak injuries that is so rare that that doesn't even happen. I think the only player that you could compare that to is Cadillac Williams tore Cadillac Williams tore it in his left knee, and then when he came back the following season, I think he tore it in his right knee, and he was never the same after that.
This does make a lot of the conversation we had previous moot. I mean, now the whole will Jenkins get cut? Probably not. you know, but they've already said that they're going to explore free agency. So we're not 100% sure that they're not going to go after a guy like Plexico Burris or Antonio Bryant or someone like that.
Well, Terrell Owens is off the market, so you know he won't be coming to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Mike Williams, I think, is still out there too.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's taking a chance on him. So
We
there are
also
some big-bodied wide receivers out there, but I was really hoping that Greg Childs would be able to get past his knee problems from college and just come out and tear things up. He looked good early in camp, and then this happened, and it's a real shame.
we had also cut AJ Love just a couple days ago, and then after Childs got hurt, AJ Love got repicked back up by the team. So
right, he's on the roster.
yeah, so I actually think it's kind of cool that AJ Love is going to be getting another shot, and that maybe he can reprove himself after being cut that he deserves a spot on this roster. But let's move on here. Let's talk a little bit about our quarterbacks.
Okay.
We know that what was really nice about this training camp is Christian Ponder was the guy taking the #1 team reps, and you knew that he's going to be your starting quarterback.
Right.
You could tell when he was on the field just by the way he was throwing the passes compared to either Joe Webb or Sage Rosenfeld or the McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
Bethel-Thompson.
Yeah, MBT is what everyone calls him for short. But you could tell that, yeah, Ponder, there's more zip on his passes, and you can hear the thud when he throws a ball when his receivers catch it. You can hear it thud in their hands, which is a good sign, showing good arm strength from him. He is very clearly the #1 guy on the team.
Now, I hate to be the skeptical Viking fan here.
Okay.
Because that's what I do.
Yep.
But I worry again that this is just training camp confidence. I want to see him do this on the field at game time. It's great that he's doing. He has these crisp passes, completing some deep ones. I like that he's doing it. But until he can do it in the regular season, I'm not going to buy in a whole ton. I think he has the potential to be great, sure. But until he can show me, I don't know.
Well, definitely. It is training camp, and we haven't even reached the first preseason game yet.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to mention about our offense that actually ties in with that is anytime they would do, at the tail end of the practice, they usually do a little bit of offense versus defense in like a little scrimmage situation. I didn't see much. They weren't doing that good of a job of moving the ball down the field. There was one time on Saturday night where Ponder had Jerome Simpson wide open in the middle of the field, and he went to throw the ball, and he overthrew him by like 15 yards.
Wow.
And we're talking about Jerome Simpson is a speedy guy, and I don't know, legitimately do not know why Ponder missed him like that. And I want to be worried. I don't want to be too worried about it because it is just training camp.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just training camp. Make the pass. Like, you're not actually going to get hit, so step up and make it.
Yeah, this is the time for him to get the bugs out anyway. I mean,
Yep.
There's no reason for him to really be nervous, but it's time for him to find the timing, find the routes. Who knows? It might have been an error on a route run. It might have been an error on, just accuracy or something like that. There's no real way for me to know. I haven't even really seen the play.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what training camp is for. If he's gonna miss passes like that and overthrow receivers, do it now.
Yeah, because I'm sure, they record all those practices, and as soon as they're done, whenever their next meeting is, probably the following day, is one of the things they do is they review that film. So that's a good learning experience for both Jerome Simpson and Christian Ponder that should help get them on the same page. Another interesting thing that I wanted to bring up here was kind of the difference between watching MBT, the McLeod Bethel-Thompson and Sage Rosenfeld's out there on the field, kind of watching someone in Sage who's at the tail end of his career, and
Right.
watching MBT, who is a really raw talent, but damn, can that guy throw a deep ball. He's got an upside to him, and he's a long shot to make the team, but I'm pulling for the kid. I want to see him succeed. If it's not with the Vikings, someplace in the NFL, I want to see him make it.
Now, I've been keeping a little bit of track of him. I've been, watching the numbers, watching a couple of practices, and he's having a pretty impressive camp so far. I mean, he's got a huge cannon for an arm. He's been showing that he's there to compete for the job. He's not pretending like, oh, I'm the fourth string quarterback. I'm just here to go through the motions and get paid. No, he's there. He's trying to win a job. And if he continues the way he's going, and Sage Rosenfeld continues to struggle, because I think he went like 1 for 8 at the last practice.
Yeah.
Then this job might be there for McLeod to take. I mean, the Vikings would be entering the season without a veteran quarterback on the roster, but then they wouldn't risk losing him by not putting him on the roster. It's like it's a tough situation because Sage is making, he's not making a ton of money. He's got that veteran leadership that you like. But when you got a young guy like McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and you got another young guy in Joe Webb, and you got another young guy in Christian Ponder, I'd like to have that veteran. But when you got these 3 guys and each one is offering something really different, when you think about it, I mean, Ponder, you got the accuracy and the pocket presence. You've got Webb, you've got, he's got the leg talent, he's got the speed. And you got McLeod Bethel-Thompson, he's just got that cannon.
Yeah, he's got a cannon for an arm for sure.
Each one offers something completely different, and I think that really could make it to where Rosenfels is the odd man out.
Which seems to be the story of his career, and it's unfortunate because he is such a nice guy. Anytime anyone is up in Mankato, and if he's still with the team, he signs autographs for every single kid. I mean, he talks to people. He's a good guy, and you hate to see good guys not make the team. But I mean, you just don't know. Play GM. What do you do in that position?
It's a tough decision to make, and that's why I'm glad I'm not there to make it. I mean, because you make that wrong decision, you'll have fans calling for your head, and you don't want to risk losing fan base, jersey sales. Not that I'm saying there's a whole line of people trying to get Sage Rosenfeld's jerseys, but
yeah.
I'm just saying they are out there.
I would buy an MBT jersey. Actually, you could convert a Brett Favre jersey into MBT. That'd be really awesome. There's a lot of people who do that up there. You'll see someone with like a old Shanko jersey from last season where he put duct tape over Shanko's name on the back of it and turned it into a Jerome Simpson jersey. I thought that was really cool.
I might have to do something like that because my Viking Brett Favre jersey didn't sell at my rummage sale. Strange, huh?
Oh, well, hey, maybe one of our listeners on the show will send you a FedEx, Western Union, MoneyGram or something, and they can buy the Brett Favre jersey from Adam Carlson.
Yeah, or maybe I just might end up converting it to MBT or maybe even an old Cluey or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit. People want to know about Matt Kalil, so
They do.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Kalil.
Okay.
He came out today, actually, and he signed autographs after their padded practice, which it was incredibly hot, and they worked the team longer than what they usually do.
Good.
And, yeah, which is good for him. That's the whole point of doing a padded practice in the afternoon, is to make them work and sweat it out.
Well, with that, with the new compact they signed, they've only got a limited number of those they can do, so they've got to take advantage of them when they can.
Which it looks like that's what Frazier was definitely doing tonight. Anyhow,
Good.
After it was over, all the players beelined right straight into the locker room to change. Usually, you'll get some guys will come out and they'll sign autographs on their way in, and
Right.
People will sign on their way out. All of them were right straight to the locker room. Well, after they had changed, Matt Kalil came out, and he started signing autographs, and he did not stop for 20, 25 minutes, and I couldn't even begin to guess the amount of stuff that he signed for everybody, and he's another one of those guys that is just such a nice, seems like such a nice player. He would talk to everyone. He was really polite. He was taking photographs with kids, and he's signing the autographs for everyone.
Oh
And
yeah.
I overheard a fan joking with him, asking him, when are you going to bring your brother down to play on the team with you too? And I don't think he was joking when he said, we'll see what we can figure out. We want to play together. So,
See, no, I don't want his brother there. I want him to bring his sister. Have you seen her? Oh,
no, I haven't.
what?
Apparently I need to.
Oh, you're missing out.
Hey,
There's someone you gotta Google. Danielle Kalil.
hold on now. Matt Kalil is a really big dude. I don't know if you want to be talking smack about his sister.
I'm not talking smack. I'm just saying that she's very attractive.
I don't
follow
even
her on Twitter, and she's very nice. I'm saying nothing bad about her.
I don't even know if you want to be saying that. He's a nice dude, but
I'm sure that they're all a very nice family.
yeah. Now I tried to pay attention to see how him and Jared Allen were matching up against one another, and it never failed. They were always on the opposite side from where I was sitting, so I could never directly see them when they were going at one another. So
But they work pretty often.
um yes and no. It seemed like they would have them go up against one another for 2 or 3 plays, and then they were taking Jared out and they were putting in his backup.
Yeah.
I don't remember who Jared's backup is offhand, but they were doing a lot of bringing in, rotating different people at different positions, because that's the whole point of a practice. Is Jared Allen is Jared Allen. There's always stuff to learn, but the people around him need the reps more than what he does.
Right. And I'd like to bring up a couple things here real quick because the Vikings did get bit by some injury bugs. I'm sure you've heard about Jeff Schwartz.
Yep. He had surgery the other day, right?
Hernia. Yep.
Yep.
He's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. This will put. It seems like it's going to put that starting right guard job right in Brandon Fusco's hands. But still, when Schwartz comes back, it'll let him sub in for Fusco or Lodeholt on the line because he can play guard or tackle. And I think that versatility is going to be nice even if he does end up still being a sub when he comes back. So I'm still excited to see Jeff Schwartz get better, come back, and be there to help out on that offensive line.
Yeah, me too.
The other injury that I wanted to talk about here, at least mention, is the one to John Carlson. Mm-hmm. Now, he had a grade 2 MCL sprain, and he's expected to miss up to 4 weeks. Now, he could be back as soon as 1 week if his pain tolerance is high and he wants to go out there and try it. But considering that he's a veteran with an injury history, I don't think they're going to be rushing him back into things really at all. I mean, the Vikings know what they have in Carlson, and this gives them a chance to check out their other tight ends that they have on their roster right now, like Carlson, Schuler, Reisner, those guys.
I can tell you right now, unless he is Superman on the healing front, just from seeing him walking a couple hours ago, he was wearing a knee brace and he was limping pretty noticeably on that side. He is not going to be back within a week running around on the field. It's going to be more of the
closer to the 4, right?
Closer to the 4 is what I'm seeing. On the good side, Alan Reisner was out there like a boss on the field
Nice.
for the past couple of days. I think he's been the one, actually, that they've been kind of using to get his reps, and he's been taking advantage of it. I've seen him make some nice catches. He's done a few drops, more than what I would like to see.
Right.
And especially in, like, open area where there's no one defending him, and he just drops the ball. You don't ever want to see that, but he has been, in my opinion, he flashed a little bit. during the time I was up there. So I'm glad to see Reisner kind of stepping up to the plate and taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, I'm not really 100% concerned, even if they take really, really precautionary standards here with Carlson, and if he ends up missing a game or two, that's fine. They have the depth at tight end. You know, they have the guys to rotate in. They've got young guys to try out. Like I said, this season isn't about winning the Super Bowl. This season's about getting better and getting there. And right now, they need to find out what pieces they have. And at tight end, this is a good way to do it.
Well, I am convinced that Kyle Rudolph is going to be an absolute superstar stud.
Are you a psychic? Because I was just going to bring him up.
I might be psychic a little bit, but
just touch.
Yeah, I am dead serious right now. Kyle Rudolph is going to be a superstar, not only for the Vikings, but for all of the NFL. Watching him practice, he is on the same page with Christian Ponder. They are on the same wavelength. And I think that is what we all had hoped for last season. We're going to get that this season because he seems to be Ponder's... It's his security blanket, and rightfully so, because he is such a big target. I had my photo taken with him. I had a chance to do that.
And that is posted on the Purple People podcast page, right?
I don't know if I posted it there yet, but I will be posting that and a lot of other photos here shortly.
Nice.
But the size difference is like... I am a hobbit standing next to Kyle Rudolph. Like, I am Bilbo Baggins, and he is just...
Try to put things in perspective a little bit, too. Like, let people know about how tall you are.
I'm 5'8". So,
okay, so...
That's kind of like average size, I would think.
Right.
And, yeah, he is just... He makes me look like...
Yeah, I've seen the photo. He makes you look very small.
Yeah, it's like Andre the Giant next to me. It's just outstanding, and... Oh.
But yeah, it's pretty obvious that Christian Ponder has a real rapport with Kyle Rudolph. I mean, there's no doubt that he'll be one of his favorite targets this season. Do you read the Minneapolis Star-Tribune?
Actually, only from time to time. I'm more of an ESPN 1500 kind of guy.
See, I love to go fishing for stories, and I read a weird thing that they said about Kyle Rudolph that I just thought was cool. They say that he has, and I quote, 10-foot fishing nets for hands.
Yeah, he does. I can vouch that up and back for that. It's his hand is... It's the size of a football, of a full-size regulation NFL football. That's his hand.
And the praise isn't only coming from places like Minneapolis Star-Tribune and ESPN and
the Purple People podcast.
We have plenty of praise for him, but also the team has been praising him, talking about his work ethic. Last year they were talking about how he was slowed down because he was still kind of recovering from an injury, and this year they say he's 100% ready to roll, and that's scary.
Yeah, speaking of guys that missed time last year, Chris Cook, I didn't personally have a chance to witness a lot of what he was doing. I seemed to always be looking the other direction or lost him in the crowd or whatever. But I got a chance to talk to a coach for Minnesota State University who said that he attended some of the private workouts that the Vikings hold. And
nice.
Chris Cook was one of the guys that he said was being an absolute stud in the private workouts. So, yeah, and that was exactly what I wanted to hear. And this is coming from a coach that he was not BSing. I believe this guy 100% when he said that Cook was flashing. He also had some really good comments to say about one of our rookies. That was, oh gosh, I can't even think offhand. Say something, Adam. Let me look him up on the roster sheet here.
So, yeah, well, I like fish. I like some lemon on my fish, maybe some pepper. Not live fish. You gotta cook the fish. Raw fish is no good. Did you find that name yet?
No, not yet. Keep talking. You're doing great. Keep talking about fish.
Are you talking Bobby Felder?
No, not Bobby Felder.
Okay. Let's see. Are we talking about corners here?
Safety. Why am I...
Rob Clanton. Harrison.
Harrison Smith. Why did I draw such a blank with that? Gosh, Harrison Smith was the other guy that Coach was talking about. That he said just looked like a beast during the private workouts, and Harrison got into a small scuffle. I think that was Friday, or I don't know. I'm getting my days all confused now. But yeah, I seen him get into a small scuffle out there on the field, and this guy just does not take crap from anyone. And
No.
he has this absolute intense look on his face all of the time. I feel sorry for anyone that has to line up opposite of him because I would not want to meet Harrison in a dark alley. I would not want to do it. But then as soon as he gets his helmet off, it's like he turns the switch off and he turns back into like
Just all smiles, huh?
just like all smiles and actually kind of timid. But man, that helmet gets on, those pads get on, and Harrison turns into an animal.
Yeah, he's so physical and just so intense. He could be that guy that they're really looking for to come out and play strong safety. I'm really interested to see how that safety job goes because right now they're still not handing him the position. I guess they have him working with the first team now, but they didn't.
Yeah, tonight he got a little bit of workout with the first team starting defense. Of course, they say don't read too much into that because we haven't even had our first preseason game yet, but I do want to read into it a little bit because they're saying we've liked what we've seen so far. Now we want to stick you with the ones and see how you can hang with it. That's kind of what I got from it.
Well, speaking of our first preseason game, that is coming up this week.
49ers, right?
Yep, we're playing the I hate saying we're. I don't know why I said we, because I'm not a member of the Vikings. I'm a big fan, but I'm not on the Vikings. So the Vikings will be taking on the 49ers on Friday at 8 p.m. That's Central Time. I list everything in Central Time because I'm assuming most of our listeners are
From
in that
the Minnesota Twin Cities area, probably.
And other fans, they can adjust. The headline that's being thrown around in this game is that Randy Moss is there to take on the Vikings.
Oh, of course. But you know what? Randy doesn't need a preseason game to get ready. Even though he had a year off, Randy's going to play like 3 snaps and he's going to be done. So wait until regular season when we play the 49ers, and then we'll see what he can do. But it'll still be fun to see him for the first time out there on the field in a 49ers uniform and just kind of see, you know, what he does or how much he plays. I'm convinced it's only going to be 3 plays is what you're going to see from him, and then he's out. That's my guess on that.
I'd say at least a series, but not more than a quarter.
Yeah, and it won't be a full quarter.
No. But at least he'll be out there for a series. I want to give you guys something to look for if you watch the game. I think I read that it's replaying on Saturday around 2 a.m. on NFL Network. Don't quote me on that. That's an approximate time. So check your listings to be sure. But
here's something interesting to look for in this preseason game. You know how a lot of teams will use the preseason to kind of dink around with special teams, like trick plays and gadget plays and whatnot? Chris Kluwe, okay, we've caught him on camera throwing, like, taking snaps and throwing a football. We caught him in practice during walkthroughs and a couple other times, like, throwing footballs around and doing other stuff. Guys, I am wondering if we have some kind of gadget fake punt where Kluwe is actually going to throw a pass. Now, I have no idea what the team is planning. This is just me guessing on seeing this a couple of times, but how cool would it be if we have a trick play that we're going to bust out in preseason where Kluwe throws a pass? How cool would that be?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to practice whether they use it or not. I'm sure they have so many things just in their playbook ready to roll. Yeah, I heard about Klui's throws, and he has been on Twitter apologizing for them
You
and the
know what?
people that watch him.
Don't let him sell himself short. He is more of an athlete than what he wants to put on, because
Say
he
that to
hit.
Skip Bayless.
What was that?
Don't say that to Skip Bayless. He says kickers aren't athletes.
Yeah, BS. Skip Bayless could not do what Cluey was out there doing. He was hitting some bombs for those punts. I mean, some absolute bombs that were going clear down the field. And you can also, like, he doesn't do a whole lot during practice. So you see him messing around with the football, and he's really good at, like, spinning it on his index finger. And it's funny because everyone else is out there working their butt off, and then you look clear over on the far side of the field, and you'll see Blair Walsh, Chris Cluey, and Colin Loeffler. It'll be those guys just messing around with the football, like doing like bouncing it off the ground and like weird stuff like that. And they'll be like talking to the ball boys over there, doing absolutely nothing for 90% of the practice. And then
Nice.
they'll blow the whistle for Blair Walsh to come out, and he'll start kicking field goals. And I tell you what, I don't. Do you remember what? You got his numbers in front of you for what he made in
No, I
training
don't.
camp?
But I think that so far in training camp, he's only missed 2 kicks, if I remember right.
Yeah, and he will line up, and they'll do like a chip shot, little one, and he'll hit that one, and then he'll move back, and he'll hit one from 20, and then he moves back again, and he hits one from 35, and he moves back again, and pretty soon he's all the way back at the 50-yard line, and he hits this field goal, and it goes dead center through the goalposts,
Oh
and
yeah.
it clears a hill like over top of the fans, and it's like the longest field goal I've ever seen anyone hit. He could have been backed up another 20 yards. This kid has a leg on him. We joked around calling him the Blair Walsh Project. There's no project with this. Like, yeah, he's got it down. Like, he's got it down pat. Unless he just absolutely cracks under pressure when he's in front of a live audience. We don't have anything to worry about with Blair Walsh. He was a good sign. He really was.
He's definitely one of the things I'll be watching for in that first preseason game, because he has no competition on the team.
He doesn't
will
need
be
it.
goals. So other things to watch for in that game. You're going to want to watch for that middle linebacker. You want to see who's going to step up there. You're going to want to see who's playing the third cornerback position, playing that inside guy in the slot. You're going to want to see, watch the punt returns. Who's returning the punts? How are they doing? That sort of thing. You're going to want to see who's starting on the wide receivers outside, because you won't, not even starting, but subbing in, because Jerome Simpson has that 4-game suspension. Somebody's going to need to cover for him, and that was going to be Childs, but who's it going to be now?
Chris
And
Cluey.
the other thing for is who the starting safeties will be. And we're going to be watching all those things, and we're going to be talking about that next week.
I think, just really quick, because it's probably pretty close to wrapping this show up, right?
Yes, it is.
I think, okay, we'll end here on these 2 notes here. Harrison Smith will be within the starting lineup in no time.
I think so.
I really believe that. They're telling him, oh, you gotta earn it, you gotta earn it. I think he's earning it, and he will be within the starting lineup in no time.
The second they did it up, he was going to start. You kind of knew that.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say, don't change the channel when MBT comes out there on the field, the 4th-string quarterback. Pay attention to him and watch what he's doing, and give the kid a shot. I think everyone should watch him and just see what he can do.
That's true. Every Vikings quarterback out there, you got something to watch for. You're going to want to see Ponder because, he's going to be the quarterback. You're going to want to watch Webb to see how much he's improved on his accuracy and his reads and his pocket presence.
He has. I think he's improving. He still wants to. You can just tell he wants to tuck and run.
And then you got the last 2 guys. You got Rosenfels and you got McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and they're fighting for that 3rd job. And it's going to be I think that one's going to be right down to the wire.
I think it's going to be closer than what you would think.
So yeah, those are the things that you should definitely watch for, and we'll be back next week to talk about the results of that game and to preview the next game, and hopefully not talk about any more injuries.
Or fish, or suntan lotion.
Hey, I like fish, and I like suntan lotion. I need more of it.
On that note, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening, and Minnesota, stay classy.